This video has been produced for use on funeralcompanion.com for you the user. To help you if you are on the go or don't feel like reading the article. Thanks for watching and feel free to read my other articles on the website for more information about afterlife care. How to cremate a pet at home and do it right. Written by Phil Hawes. I know you don't want to think about it, but the lovable little fur balls, or those without fur, will eventually need to be laid to rest when it gets to this stage, after everyone that loved them has been able to say goodbye. It's time to think about what to do with the remains. Cremation is possibly the most sanitary and space-saving method to dispose of the deceased pet, not to mention the added benefit of being able to store them in your house if you want, as with any veterinary service. Cremation will cost a certain amount of money. So is there a way for you to do it yourself? Using a large barrel and starting a fire containing your pet and adding flammable stump remover to generate the appropriate heat about 1500 degrees Fahrenheit will enable you to cremate most pets, unless you have a large open space capable of containing a large open flame. You should not cremate your pet at home. If you want to know if cremation at home is the right thing to do and want to learn how, keep listening. Is it possible for me to cremate my pet at home? Something many people may not realize about cremation is that burning any animal's body down to only ash requires a very high temperature, around 1500 degrees Fahrenheit. This is because the bones will need this extra heat to burn versus the rest of the remains of the animal. Bones are made out of somewhat different organic material and need some extra treatment, even though you aren't able to just have a campfire and cremate your pet. It is still possible to cremate your pet at home. The way to do this is to find a chemical compound that, when it is ignited, will burn very hot and will get you the temperature you need. Likely the easiest chemical of this nature to get a hold of would be potassium nitrate. Potassium nitrate can be found in stump remove for removing tree stumps, which you can buy at most hardware stores. What animals can be cremated? This might not be such an obvious answer, as I'm sure that most of us have not had a lot of experience with cremating animals at this point. However, since animals, like humans, are all made from generally the same materials, just about any animal you could have as a pet will be eligible for a cremation. The only restriction that may come up with this issue would be the size of the animal. If you are looking to cremate a horse or even a very large dog and you don't have the space for a rather large fire, it may not be a good idea to attempt a cremation at home. How long will it take to cremate your pet? Of course, this largely depends on the size of your pet and also the heat you are able to generate in your homemade crematorium. Based on industry standards, you can find the rough timing below. However, I would suggest you add some extra time to account for your less efficient setup. Pet cremation time. Small dog 30 to 45 minutes. Large dog 1 to 3 hours. Cats 30 to 45 minutes. Fish, rodents, and reptiles 30 to 45 minutes. Horses 6 to 10 hours. If you have a reptile, please read my article on cremating turtles and other reptiles. Perhaps you have a hamster or other small rodent. If so, you will find my full article on cremating these types of pets useful. You are listening to an audio reading of an article from funeralcompanion.com. If you are not following this on the website or YouTube channel, please help me out by reporting it to contact@funeralcompanion.com. Thank you. And now back to the reading of this article. Is my home right for performing a cremation? In case it wasn't obvious, no. You should not try to cremate your pet inside your home. You will need to have an outdoor space large enough to maintain a rather large open flame. Certainly, you should not be doing this within a condo complex, as you may get a hefty fine and the fire department called on you. So, I think this is really a pursuit for rural folk or ones with a sizable backyard. Ideally, you should have an open backyard with plenty of space to perform the procedure. Trees and bushes at least 20 feet from the flames. If you are in doubt of whether your backyard is suitable, you should consult your local fire department, and they should be able to come and have a look at your spot to see if it will be safe to use. Is it legal? While it may be frowned upon among animal lovers, as it might not be the most gentle way to lay your pet to rest, it is completely legal to cremate your pet on your own. And the thing is, it doesn't have to be disrespectful at all. If you want to be with your pet as they are returned to the stardust they were made from, then this can be quite a moving experience. The fact that there are no laws against it may indicate that it's not a distasteful process at all. Having said that, you will need to do it in a safe manner in order not to cause damage to you or your neighbor's property. How do I prepare the deceased pet? Since pets often die unexpectedly, and as you will need to prepare the necessary materials, it is a good idea to keep the remains from decomposing too quickly. Decay, just like with all living things, will start to set in almost immediately after death and certainly take hold rapidly within the first 24 to 48 hours. The best thing to do when keeping your animal after it dies is to put it in a sealed plastic bag if you can get one big enough for your pet. If your animal is a bit too big, you could use a garbage bag. Then put it into a freezer to keep it from decaying until you are ready to proceed with cremation. A big basement deep freeze is your best friend here, but just for hygiene's sake, try to empty it out before placing a rather large animal in there. There are other methods you can use, from dry ice to using air conditioning, which I've discussed in another article here aimed at preserving humans. But the process is much the same. What is the process of cremation? After your pet has died, it is important to get the body frozen as soon as possible to avoid a tricky situation with the onset of decomposition as mentioned above. After that, it is important to make sure the area that you will be using meets the fire code for your city and neighborhood. To make sure, it is always best to check with your local fire department, but for some general guidelines you can look at a site like the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. Next, it is time to gather the materials you need. This will include a metal container or a barrel large enough to burn your animal in. The inside of an old dryer is commonly used. Charcoal to keep your fire burning long enough. A lot of potassium nitrate, depending on the size of your animal, most commonly found in gunpowder, but for these purposes it is best to use stump remover. This will create the heat that you need. A lot of burnable wood and kindling. A metal pan for collecting the ashes. A sledgehammer or heavy tool to crush remaining bones. When you have all of your tools needed, you can then set up your metal container in an open, safe area. Place your deceased pet on top of the metal pan and place some wood and charcoal around it. Then proceed to put the burnable wood on top and around the animal. Cover the entire fire generously with stump remover and a bit of charcoal leader fluid. Once this is finished, you can then stand as far back as you can and set the contents on fire. Keep the fire going as long as you need to get your pet to completely reduce to ashes. This may take a while and need some additions of more wood and stump remover. Be prepared to see some bone fragments remaining in the pan, often from the thicker bones. These will need to be crushed and should be done before they cool fully. Then, after the fire has cooled and you can remove the bottom pan, you should have the cremated remains of your pet. Then you can store your pet's ashes in whatever you wish to preserve the memory of the animal. What should I do with ashes? After you have collected your pet in an appropriate container, such as this urn which you can pick up on Amazon, you can always get creative. It is common for people to keep their beloved pet's ashes inside in a plant pot or perhaps in their backyard in a nice garden memorial, which are pretty affordable on Amazon too. Perhaps even scattering the ashes somewhere the pet really enjoyed would be a nice gesture. Anything that will help you be more at peace with the death of the pet is suitable. Another great option is to get the ashes made into a permanent piece of jewelry. You should check out the beautiful handcrafted pieces Mark Hamilton makes with cremains by visiting his site here. If you want to pick up a quality urn or memorial for your beloved pet, I would really recommend One World Memorial, which offers a wide range of products for both pet and human memorials. I was personally very happy with an urn I bought from them recently. So should you really cremate your own pet? So, as we've seen, cremating almost any size pet is both possible or legal throughout the United States. However, that still doesn't mean you should do it, even if you have all the right tools and the right setup. Remember, this is your best friend, your companion for perhaps many years. If you have a sensitive constitution, you may not wish the last images of your pet being those of a cremation pyre. So, seriously consider the emotional as well as the financial costs of doing this before you proceed. That was an audio reading of an article generated for users of funeralcompanion.com. If this was a useful resource, please share it with others, and I hope to see you on the site again soon.